everybody. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Bree.
I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple. So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we post a new review. What's happening, beautiful people? Welcome back. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. It's been kind of busy, but we are here. You know, we're here to talk about the reunion, first part of the reunion for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And we have some things to say, right? So I don't even really want to waste any time.
This is 3 parts.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to waste any time because I have a lot to say. I have some opinions that need to be said, okay? So, anything.
3 parts. Let's just go.
Let's get into it. Okay, y'all. So, let the shenanigans begin. Okay, I already see where we are going. This set the tone for, I guess, what we are about to see for the next couple of parts of this reunion. I do not like what I see, but it is very funny. You know, there are some characters, okay? I'm disappointed, but I'm going to give my overall feeling of the energy, the weird energy that was happening during this reunion. I'll give that opinion on the last part, right? Because it definitely was some weird energy. I was not feeling this heavily produced cast during this reunion special. Like, it's so obvious that they took a page out of all of the housewives, you know, anybody that's over there on Bravo or any other network, when they are seasons in and they start getting ghostwriters to do their reads. They start getting stylists or people to help them out with an ensemble of, you know, their looks, and it doesn't fit them, right? Like, you can tell, like, it's this person that was forced in this dress or suit that don't even suit who they are and their body type. Then they start having people in their ear of like, oh girl, you should bring this prop, and then bring it out when you do this. Like, when all of that starts to happen, it gets so corny. Like, it's so corny, right? But here we are. I want to start off first by talking about the looks. We got to talk about the looks, okay? And we'll talk about Martell's arrest at the end of the video, because y'all know I got something to say about that. Okay, we'll get there later. But let's talk about the looks. Let's talk about what we saw during this reunion. I have a picture up just for reference. I might put a picture on the video so y'all can see. And I know you got a couple of comments too.
About what they're wearing.
First and foremost, you know, Tisha and Marcel, you're so corny for coming with the boxing robes. That was corny, but go off, right? Go off. Again, this doesn't fit you. Somebody told you should come like this. And it screams that. It screams unauthentic. So, you know, we'll just go with that. But let's talk about what you guys decided to wear. So, Tisha in this green dress. I don't like the color, but I also don't like the color green. If I'm going to do green, it's going to have to be a dark green, right? Like, I love a good emerald, or maybe even a forest green, depending on the situation. But lime green, neon greens is not my thing. So I will say maybe I'm a little biased there, where I can't take the color. She is a beautiful woman, right? A beautiful dark-skinned woman. So I feel like the color doesn't clash with her skin. Like, I think that it works for her skin tone. But I'm also very picky when it comes to my gowns and my dresses. Okay. The type of sheer material that's supposed to give the illusion of crystals or rhinestones actually being on your skin. I'm very particular about that. I like it to be completely transparent. I like for it to like go into the skin. Like it has to have that material that's completely clear and that matches your skin tone so that it can give the illusion that it's on your skin. Again, I'm very picky with that. But girl, I guess it worked. I don't know. Marceau just looked like he was going to a business meeting. He put the little green, what you call it? What you call
In a
it?
handkerchief?
Is that what that's called?
Oh, I don't
That
know.
goes in the little pocket. He put a little green thing there in his pocket, I guess, to match her. But he was going to a business meeting. Marceau has never had style, so I'm not worried about that. Let's go to Kimmy and Maurice. Maurice, same thing. Like, looks like he's going to a business meeting. I feel like he wears the same suits all the time. So, like, there's nothing special. Don't care. Whatever. Kimmy, I hate the length of the dress. It was way too long because clearly people were tripping over it. I also felt like it just didn't work. But I mean, colors, whatever. I don't know how I feel about those feathers on your arms. It's whatever. But the real thing is, this up here, from the shoulders up, beautiful. However, when that lady walked in to that studio at the very beginning and she had her natural short hair and then she came out with this wig, I was like, Kimmy, like, I understand. I know how we as women, I know how we are when it comes to us being comfortable and feeling comfortable in our skin, specifically when it comes to our hair. But Kimmy, you look so beautiful with the short hair. I really feel, girl, if we could have got like a good slit back, or even if you would have kept it naturally curly the way you had it when you walked in, that would have worked. I loved it. Granted, you would have definitely had to do a different dress with the short hair, but I really liked the short hair on her. Like, I don't know why she felt like that she had to do the wig. I don't know. The wig wasn't bad. It just, I really liked you in the short hair. But it's do what you feel comfortable with. Anything before I move on to the
Marcel, I
other
mean,
two, the other four?
I'm waiting to get to Martell in his suit.
Okay, I
But
knew you was waiting for that one.
Martell had the best outfit and best suit. Of course, as problematic he is, he always has the best suits.
That was a sharp suit.
He always got the best suits.
That was a sharp suit. But I always knew that the devil, shows that, like, they gotta look like that. They gotta they gotta be attractive, and we know that.
I mean, he's been doing it for years now.
Yeah, the suit was a nice suit. I just also wish it was just a little bit bigger. Like, why is he hell bent on getting too small clothes? Why? Did you see the shorts that he showed up to the reunion in? It is not. That's not okay, Martell. It's not okay.
That's his style.
But it was a nice suit, nice color, like nice design. I really did love it. Just wish it was a size up. Stormy and Courtney. Now, okay. So Stormy and Courtney. You know, my only issue, not my only issue. Stormy definitely looked like a Southern Belle, right? Like, she definitely looked like she should be on Belle Collective. It was like, Mississippi Belle. That's what it was giving, right? It was giving all she needed was a hat and the what is Little Bo Peep, the little cane that she had, and I felt like it would have worked. I really do. That's what it was giving. Basically, I feel like the design of the dress was a little matronly for me. It was, I could see it was given Southern, sweet tea. I get that, but it was, it kind of aged you a lot, like a whole lot. And then I just feel like we could have did a different color. Felt like we could have did a different color. And I think what really made me come to that conclusion was when we see Courtney and he has the full head to toe pink that matches with her dress. And I appreciate the effort because I feel like besides Martell, we're removing him from the equation. You are the only man that gave a little bit of effort, right? And really wanted to zone in with matching with your woman. So I give you an A+ for effort. Execution is where I question, right? But that's they were given Southern hospitality.
Courtney looks like he was dragged there. He really did not want to be there. Like, it looked like she came into his room. Hey, I got this dress. You got a match. Do I really have to go? Like, he really looks like he was dragged there. Like, that's not Courtney's scene.
But then we have money making Mel. Mel came in. I know my girl went to the Renaissance concert last year, just like I did. I know she did. Because she was like, you know what? I had such a good time. This is about to be the theme for my look for the reunion. Because it was given summer Renaissance.
It was given aluminum foil.
Hey, it was given summer Renaissance, okay? Y'all know I love my girl. When I saw her post these pictures, this was clearly last year. I did not know that this was the reunion look. Like, she just posted the pictures, and I felt like in the caption it didn't say where she was at. Mm-hmm. Y'all know that she does a lot of collaborations with Jay Bolden, who is a designer, phenomenal designer. Love his work. And so this is his original. He's a stylist, and I'm sorry, not just a designer. He's a stylist. So I'm thinking this is his doing. I'm thinking they're doing a photo shoot for him and like a new collection or something. I did not know that this was going to be her reunion look until like a month ago. I feel like somebody mentioned it to me. It could have been my brother. Somebody mentioned it to me and then sent me the pictures. I was like, oh, I love the picture. I love the pictures. I love the look in the pictures. Like, she was posing down, giving true Beyonce. However, I don't know how I feel about it at the reunion with her sitting down, because I don't know if it kind of like swallows her up a little bit, because, Mel got the body yada yada. So, it's just kind of like, I don't know, Mel, like, we want us to kind of see cleave a little bit sometimes. And I feel like you fine in whatever. So we just want to see it a little bit more instead of you feeling like you're being swallowed up. But I did like how you was sitting though, right? She always had her arms out and she was kind of sitting up and she had her leg out with the boots. Like, I see what she was doing because my girl's a model. She's a model. So she knows what to do. We'll talk about everybody else's looks as they come on the screen, because those were the only people that showed up in the first part. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to everybody else later. We don't need to talk about Kiki's look. We'll talk about her later. But that's how I felt about everybody. And then I guess we can say for Carlos, I know he had on his red suit. I got critiques for Carlos King. Okay. So I don't want Carlos, if he ever sees this in life, I don't know. Please don't take it personally, because I would love to work with you one day. That would be amazing. But I have to be honest though here. I do. Because you really did annoy me. You did. But let's talk about that.
So, Carlos introduces everybody to the stage. And, I am going to shadow one introduction. Carlos had to introduce the very last, of course, she's going to be last, Miss Melody Rogers. Okay. With her new last name. Well, old, but, back to Rogers. Yeah. In which, Marsau, of course, was making every face in the world. But I just thought it was funny because, Melody's new little imaginary boyfriend, Marsau, was in the background yelling, Roger, Roger. He gets such a rise pissing Martell off.
Yeah. But she was last because...
Of course,
that was correct. Like, what are we talking about? I'm Melody Rogers.
Aluminum foil.
Like, what? Excuse me.
But everybody sits down. Carlos is ready to get this thing started, and he starts with Marcel and Letitia. And his very first question he wanted to ask them is, do they think they are great business people? Before we go into people's responses, me honestly, hell no. Are you serious? You can't be that great if you got all these lawsuits. And I'm not going to go deep into that. I know I mentioned it a lot. But, it's from watching the show, there's always the sound of many projects being started and not being finished.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there seems to be a lot of miscommunication within scope. I think the biggest thing to hold their hat on is what the black that they built. And every time it's being shown, there's only 5 people in the bar. Black Expo was all over the place. They claim it was successful, blah, blah. Y'all were all over the place with that. Come on. Because there was a whole lot of miscommunications, a whole lot of vendors that didn't know what other vendors knew. Of course, we can talk about Stormy being found out, I need $100. It's like, it's crazy. No, not great business people, because we'll start back with communication. Marsal and Letitia on 2 different pages with business.
Going to the question of, do we think, or do they think that they are good business people? Everything that you said, 100% true, right? That's just what it is. Not only do they have very poor execution, but nothing is finished. And then more than just that, I just feel like they have a really bad habit at being mediocre. And I just think it's because they're mediocre people, right? Like it is very, it's telling when we even get to the question of the whole Black Expo thing, right? And because I don't even think Carlos asked a specific question about the expo.
No.
She just kind of just answered the question with that and saying how, the expo was a success. It was our first one. It was great. And it was kind of like, well, what makes you not good business people to me? And this is what I mean by being mediocre. Let me be very clear. Is that a good business person is able to also receive feedback, apply that feedback, constructive criticism, apply it, and be better, right? That to me is a good business person, someone that also is humble, and knows their shit, knows what they're doing, whatever their line of work is. To me, that's what it is to me. And you're mediocre because it's like you throw together events just to say that you did this, not because there's a real intent for to actually make a mark in whatever the field is. That's why I feel like you're mediocre, is because you're just doing things. And I don't respect that, right? Like, because it's kind of like you said, it was success and you was giving back to the community. And I want clarification on that too. I mean, I know that we did a review clearly all season, but I'm not 100% sure if I remember if it was also not enough clarity about where the money was going and who was supposed to pay for their booths. Like, all of that type of information to me is kind of like extremely, it's extremely relevant and makes you not a good business person. If I have to question those things, it's like it's giving sketch. A good business person also wouldn't have a platform like this and not utilize this platform to elevate their businesses, right? To make sure that their businesses are shown in the right light. That's why I'm saying it's mediocre. It's not enough to just be on the show and to throw a whole bunch of different things at the wall, and it seems like it's just thrown together, right? So when we even give you critique on your website, you just get offended by it instead of hearing like, hey, this is how you can make it better next time. And that's exactly the feedback that you were getting for the expo. So she goes on to answer the question with basically saying how everybody was negative that's on the stage. Nobody had anything positive to say, which is actually not true. That's a bold-faced lie. If everybody was negative, number one, Stormy and Courtney wouldn't have agreed at the last minute to be a part of your expo. That's one. They were asked. Two, Mel always started every sentence with, "Oh, it's really good about what you guys are doing. Like, I think this is a great idea." Whatever. At every meeting that y'all had, that was her attitude. I feel like Kimmy did the same thing. Kimmy, out of everybody, always gonna be Tisha's, cheerleader in the background, with also trying to sprinkle in a little bit of criticism or constructive criticism in there. Especially sending it Marcel's way because he's the one with a lot of mouth. And so Kimmy's quick to say, like, well, I don't think it's like this. Like, I think, this is what it's been. Like, she's always played that role. Your brother's always going to be up your ass. So he goes with anything that you say. And then Martell, at this point, he just wants to be in the room with Mel to aggravate her. So that wasn't true. And even your husband said, well, I do feel like Maurice, Mel, and Martell did have some positive feedback. But he did say that he felt like Kimmy didn't really say anything positive. And I was like, that's not true. Why? Because she held you accountable, especially in that last meeting with just the 6 of them. And Kimmy was like, he is mainly the reason why the comeback route failed last time.
The Scotts, they got a misconception about haters. See, the thing is, you're a hater if you don't agree with them. Mm-hmm. You're a hater if you don't follow their logic. Mm-hmm. And you're a hater if you try to give them constructive criticism. Because at the end of the day, they think, they built Mount Rushmore with Scope Enterprise. I'm not taking Kimmy's answer at all. Kimmy's just Kimmy. Like, ever since her thing Maurice, she lost so much credit. Man, don't nobody care what Kimmy got to say. Nobody really care what Kimmy got to say, to be honest with you. I just don't like hearing the word business and Letitia and Marcel's name in the same sentence. So, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have too much on that, but they're scammers. And I just don't like those two words. That word, allegedly. Their names.
They're allegedly.
I just don't like it in the same sentence. Like, we done. I'm retired from that word with them. I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like they answered their own question. Then when we start talking about Tisha's website and how she responded to that, so I think it's a stupid question. You think you're a good business people? Well, it's not a stupid question because we want to know too. Do y'all really think that y'all are good business people? When you're looking back at this season and how you responded to things, do you think so? Do you think you're really handling business?
Fake it till you make it.
Like this fool, Marceau, I have to say this. Side note, this fool on national television, I will not forget when he's having that conversation with Mel, talking about he doesn't respect the e-commerce business, but he's in e-commerce. Mm-hmm. Who does that? So no, you're not a good business person. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you do that? You're in the industry, but you say you don't respect it on national television. What?
They should just cut that scene. They should have cut that scene.
It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
After that bogus ass answer from Letitia and Marcel, Carlos decides to ask Courtney and Stormy, due to their success, about do they feel the Scotts on the same power couple level as them. And before Stormy can even answer, Letitia, already starts going off in the mouth, talking about this about to be negative. We all know Tisha and Marcel rehearsed those lines 2 nights in advance to get ready for Stormy and Courtney, because we all know what happened during this season. I truly feel Letitia literally, it's like Stormy's right. She did say they came on an agenda. They came on the shits. Stormy didn't get to really answer without the noise in the background. Tisha popping her mouth, blah, 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 blah. And then for some reason, she got on her about pay your invoices. Pay your invoices. Pay them people in Huntsville with that TikTok money, boo. I've never, I don't know. We haven't really heard too much of that. But like I said, Marcel and Letitia decided to, like I said, they hired a ghostwriter. something that was just weird energy. Like you just booted up before like Stormy could even talk. It's crazy. It's crazy. And thing is, Stormy, and Stormy says it throughout this episode. I'm giving this girl so much grace because I can tear her ass up. And it's funny during the segment too. Courtney, while the women are going back and forth, Courtney is over here. I wouldn't say whispering, but make sure Marshawn can read his lips on him. All right, stay out of this. Just be quiet. Just stay there. Because you already know Marcella was ready to go.
Baby. Tisha. Ooh, Tisha was a little spicy. This girl, she said, y'all not gonna bully me no more. That's what she Tisha, you know what, Tisha? I see you, girl. Tisha, like, you know what? We in, what is this, like 4 years into this whole business? Whatever. She like, I have been playing this role. People keep saying I'm done. People keep saying I'm letting my husband roll all over me. They keep comparing me to Mel. They keep doing this. And she tried for so long to be like the good person, right? Like she's like, oh my God, we're good people. Remember when she was crying in the car with her husband? Like, why are they trying to tear down a young, Black, successful couple? We're so good. We're good people, right? She does that all the time, right? Well, I think at this reunion, she's like, you know what? Let me lean into being a villain. This wasn't working for seasons, right? I played stupid. I've played the mean girl. I've played the victim. So now let me play the villain. Let me do that. See how that works. Girl, I'm here to tell you, it do not fit you. It don't fit. That's not the character you want to play, Tisha. Tisha, that's not it. This is not the role. This is not the role. Baby, if you ever watched any reality show, and because multiple reality TV girlies, they've had copywriters. It's a thing. They've had people write their reads. It's been confirmed. We know. But if you would have learned anything, you would know that when your copywriter gives you your lines, your little comebacks, your reads, you're supposed to spread those out amongst the whole episode, right? You did too much too early. Too much dip on your chip. It was too much. It was too much. That was a lot because the girl couldn't even say anything. And I'm talking about Stormy. Stormy ain't even get the word in. She already over there, like you just said. Then it was like, oh, God, pay your invoice, girl. Pay your invoices. Like I was getting calls. People was calling me saying like she owes us money too. So basically, because I don't think if anybody caught that little line, Tisha is alluding that Stormy and Courtney still owes them money, meaning Marsau and Tisha. I am gonna go out on a limb, right? Y'all, I'll eat crow later if I am wrong, but I am going to say Courtney and Stormy did not do business with them after the expo. Okay, I'm going to assume that. So with that being said, are you still 10 toes down on this random $100 that he asked for the day of the event? Is that what you mean by they owe you money? Because even during the season in real time, you were saying how it was tacky, how it was not articulated to them that they needed to pay for their booth space. And I felt like we had a whole town hall meeting to talk about this incident and your unorganization and asking people for money the day of the event. And so now you were back 10 toes down on that. So they owe you money. When Stormy looked at her and was like, you want to be me, ho? You want to be me, ho? You mad?
Because I believe
what?
Tisha said some type of comment about go pop some pills. Something stupid.
You're such a loser.
Something stupid.
You're such a loser. When we saw that in the previews for the reunion of her saying go pop some pills, I thought she was talking to her cousin.
Yeah.
But you're talking to Stormy? And then you try to like really like, I guess, throw digs about her and her TikTok money or social media money. Like, baby, this is how I know you suck as a businesswoman. That's how I know you suck. Because let me tell you, that's where the money is at right now. Hello.
Well,
we love Love and Marriage Huntsville. We love reality TV. And we love talking to y'all. But y'all don't think that we want to one day get paid off of this one day?
Well, you know, Stormy and Ray dropped the mic when she said, when you make as much money as me, honey, come holler. And that's when you know, Letitia, you can't say nothing to that.
I think you thought you ate. She really thought she ate. And she's still starving. And I need her to understand that. You still got the clown mask on. I just want you to understand that too. Like, you're still a clown. You are still the biggest joke on the stage. As much as you wanted to have a lot of mouth this episode, it wasn't giving what you think it gave. That's unfortunate. So after Tisha makes her comment about Stormy popping pills or whatever, Carlos then asks Tisha about the whole website debacle, right? And Tisha goes into like, you know, this is what happened. I paid this designer to do this job. This person dropped the ball. Pretty much everything that she said during the season, right? This is what pissed me off because Stormy was then going to answer as far as how she felt, or I guess her opinion about the whole website thing. This is when she made the comment that you just said about giving her grace, right? She was like, I gave you grace. Carlos then jumps in and wanted Tisha to elaborate on what happens, but then like cuts her off and is like, you know, I 100% agreed with you on this. I didn't feel like it was your fault. And he was basically like, what the designer should have done, what I would have made him do, was put out a statement on his social platforms, letting people know what happened. This is my thing. Carlos did a lot of being a shield and a mouthpiece for Tisha and Marcel. And this is why I said he probably not going to like what I got to say about this. But it has to be said, I did not like the way that Carlos was facilitating this reunion like I normally don't, right? Like I always have critiques with how Carlos facilitates the reunions because I think that it's very obvious who he favors. I think that he also sprinkles in his own opinions about the storylines and the people. I think he's also, even though he's a gay man, he is still a man at the end of the day. And I think that he has a lot of that toxic mindset around men and women's relationships dynamics. But sticking up for Tisha in this instance, I feel like once again, it is not the responsibility of the graphic designer, website designer, whoever was doing the website for you to then put a statement on their social media platforms. What good would that do? We don't know the designer. We know Tisha. She is the face of the company, even though she has low-key is her kids, but y'all get it. It's Tisha. We know her. She's the one with the following. At the end of the day, it falls on the person that owns the company. And anybody would say that. That's like a thing. It's like what Stormy just said. At the end of the day, we're the ones that have to be held accountable for any incidents like this that happen, especially on a public platform. So Tisha should have been the one to put out a statement immediately, letting people know what's going on, right? Because it was up there for a long time, apparently. It was up there for weeks, this error. And Tisha never really addressed it. She fixed it, or she had it fixed, but she didn't address it. And that is bad business. That's not how this works. You had people out here thinking that you were doing a collab with Canvas Beauty, which that was not the case. So when Stormy made the comment during the season about how looks bad on me, this looks bad on you, like she put herself in there too. She was like, this was just a bad look. And Tisha was just not receptive to any of the feedback. and the criticism, or she did not want to take accountability in any type of way. Like, you cannot be praised for when your business does well, but then kind of like wash your hands when something goes wrong, because business always is going to go up and down. I'm not mad that there was a mistake. I'm mad that about how you're responding to it. Shit happens. I believe, yes, maybe you did have the same designer that did Canvas Beauty's website. Maybe you did. That's not the problem. It's the fact that you are being a bitch about it when we're trying to say, like, hey, girl, like, this is what's going on.
But once again, y'all are good business people. Okay, so up next, Carlos decides to put Kimmy and Maurice on the hot seat. You know, he shows their little highlight on the screen throughout the season, in which Maurice was looking like an asshole and Kimmy was looking like a pygmy. As they come out, Maurice decides that he wants to apologize for the things that he said off the screen and on the screen and his actions. As well as he wants people to know that he is a different person behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, Maurice, for you to say this off camera and how you act with the camera, I'd hate to see how you are off the camera. I'm pretty sure it's went from fire and brimstone to hell. So Carlos decides to bring up how a lot of viewers are feeling. A lot of them have been feeling that is Maurice possibly sexually abusing his wife from his comments. And his comments ranging from Kimmy just takes it like a champ, just laying there. It's for me. All the bullshit. And my thing is, Maurice, no, it doesn't sound good. I mean, at the end of the day, we already talked about what was on World Star. And I can't even say what the title of that video was. Man, blah, 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 cancer, wife, sex. I can't even say what the title that was. But the thing is, Maurice, you look like an asshole because the thing is, your wife has cancer, for Christ's sakes. And you're still worried about your needs. It's like, oh, Lord, she's having a bad day. Oh, she better still give it up tonight. Oh, Lord, she's asleep. I need her to wake up because I need this 2-piece tonight. Like, Maurice, it's like, this is going to follow you for a good minute.
I would just also like to point out, I want them to stop trying to ignore the fact that like this is the first season. I mean, he's been making these comments for seasons now. Yeah. Not since season 1, but he has been making very inappropriate comments about him and his wife's sex life and just his thoughts of
because
his wife, period.
And the highlights, got brought up about her wanting her Jeep. Because she wanted, her hair to fly in the wind while the Jeep, driving and stuff. And Maurice said to Marsal, I don't know why Kimmy, talking about this Jeep. I mean, she really ain't got hair right now. And it's just like, bitch. Like, I don't know. Maurice is... Scots are just hell all over the place.
Like I just want them to stop doing that. Stop trying to play in our face. Like, we've been watching the show since day 1. It's not just about once she had cancer. I mean, believe me, that is like 90% of my issue. But he's been on this wave of disrespecting this woman and not sticking up for her or not having her back. Now, that's been a theme since we have met them. That him not supporting supporting his wife. That's been a theme. If it wasn't with Kiowa, then it's with the kids. If it's not the kids, then it's with work and their careers. If it's not that, then it's sex. Like, that's been the constant theme. But Kimmy, in this moment, she's just like, I just want everybody to know, like, I want a fruitful sex life as well. Like, that it's not just Maurice that's wanting sex or whatever. And I was like, who would, if you're in a relationship, who would not want to have a fruitful sex life? That's again, you're playing in our face. That's not what we're talking about, Kimmy. We're talking about, again, I just keep going back to that scene from 2 seasons ago with you sitting on the edge of the bed and you guys were packing to go to the couples retreat, and all of the disrespect that was spewing out of his mouth in that episode alone. Like it's the way he talks to you. It's the way he describes you when talking to other people and describes your relationship and what how he doesn't show up anytime the camera is in your home and you guys are doing a scene together.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, he doesn't wash a dish. We're not saying this because we don't live with y'all. You said this. Like, why are y'all trying to make it seem like we're projecting onto you guys, like projecting as viewers? Like, that's not what's happening. What he was saying was very dangerous. And then he went on a rural tour with interviews saying the same stuff.
Doubling down on it.
Like, that's what it was giving. And the fact that you said in the car this season about, the whole orgasm thing, like, I don't even think that he recognized that you're there half of the time. I mean, that's what you're describing. So, of course, they take this moment to now talk about women faking it, right?
Yep, Carlos asked Kimmy about faking orgasms, in which
Yes.
Maurice interrupts
Yes.
and says it's wrong to fake an orgasm. But Kimmy felt like it was the best move at that time.
Right. And this is when we're going to have to defer. Listen, put your kids away. This is when the episode gonna get a little spicy, okay? We're gonna talk about sex for a second since they talking about it. I do not think that it's cool to, as a woman, to fake an orgasm. I don't. Actually, this is the one time, very few times, that I actually agreed with what Marie said. If you're faking it, I'm thinking what I'm doing is right. Now we both in a pickle here. now this is false advertising at this point, because now you thinking you doing something right? It's misleading. So I'm totally against it. Have I ever in past relationships? Yes, every woman on that stage is completely right about, yes, we have all been there. Is that my ministry now and moving forward in life? No. It's not my ministry. We're not doing that, because at this point, if we in this relationship for the long haul, if we in this relationship, I ain't lying to Evan. That ain't right. Nope, that wasn't. Not faking it. Not faking it.
I ain't never had no face in the past.
And I ain't never said nothing. And I never faked it. There's no fakers over here. We're good. We're good. Ain't no fakers
in life.
We talking about right now. We're talking about, again, if future, being married, whatever. Ain't no faking. Then we asked Mel, like, hey Mel,
well, no,
did you really fake it?
Hold on, it was before Mel. Even before Martell already knew what Carlos was gonna do, because before he asked Mel, Martell's yelling cap.
Yeah, well, Carlos asked Mel, did you really fake it the whole time he was in this marriage with Martell? And Mel says, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what happened. Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
And Martell got hyped, as y'all know. He actually got hyped yesterday and got in trouble for it, but we'll get to that at the end. But Martell got hyped, what y'all know, and he was like, that's cap. I got a hook and a curve.
Baby, and somebody told him that that's all that it takes. These niggas is misled. And I blame all of the women that continue to fake. Mel, this is when I put the responsibility on you, because at the end of the day, why? Because now we have somebody like a Martell, Marceau, all of them running around here thinking they the ish, because y'all out here faking. That's another reason why I'm against it, because I'm not out here trying to boost men's ego. Like, what? Like, that's not what I'm doing. Not my ministry. That's what you did. Because now he thinks that's all it takes is to have a hook and a curve, which I'm like, boy, clearly you don't know how vaginas work, because that don't work for every vagina. That's one. And that's not going to always get you to an orgasm. And you can have that tool and don't know what to do with it. And that be half of y'all's problem too. You got the equipment, but don't know what to do with it. And I will say, sorry to cut you off, one more thing, Martell screams, I am a receiver. I'm not a giver. Like he's like, I get mine, everybody else, F you. I mean, that's kind of what he gives. And, Maurice gives sex slave.
Well, Martell then screams, "Ain't no woman he gonna be having sex with gonna be faking." So he wanted to let that be known.
Well, you sitting across from a woman that said that she faked it every time.
And so Carlos decides to ask Mel after, what is it about your sex life with Martell that just wasn't it? And Mel says pretty much, when you get emotional and mental abuse pretty much in a relationship, it's going to take a toll on how your body responds. Pretty much.
Duh.
Pretty much.
And I'm saying duh to like niggas, not Mel. But like, yes, thank you. Thank you.
And so after that, Carlos decides to ask Tisha, in which she was beating around the bush with her answer for the longest until she finally said yes, that she has faked it in her marriage. And Marsal's over there looking dumb.
He's like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
Right. And then he goes to Stormy, and Stormy lets it be known, Courtney pleases me every time.
Even if she lies, she like, yep, listen, it's my man. And what? I ain't about to tell y'all. And what? Gang, gang.
Up next, we have the ladies of Huntsville on the stage. We had Mel, Stormy, Kimmy, Letitia, and Marcella.
Yes.
Since he want to be a bad,
yes.
so much.
Yes, the bad bitches of Huntsville.
Mm-hmm. So Carla starts out asking all the ladies, who here feels Marsal is always in women's business?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Mel hand goes up first with no hesitation, followed by Stormy. Mm-hmm. Kimmy's like, well, I don't know. I'm kind of, half and half. He seems to be in guy and girl drama. But Kimmy, shut up.
Then the answer to the question is yes.
Yeah, shut up, Kimmy. And then y'all know the assistant Letitia sitting right next to her saying nothing because he pays her salary. So she's just not saying nothing. And Marsal, his reasoning for why he's in women's business is he claims you can't be a lady and ask to be equal and say no, my business is only reserved for me. There are some vocal men here in this friend group, and we have a voice. In a nutshell. Well, it seems like you're the only man that's always in their business. Martal creates the chaos. Maurice is the definition of chaos. But you're just,
I want everybody, including you, us. I want everybody to stop saying just him being in women's business, right? But I understand what we're all saying, right? It's not about him just having an opinion on something that's happening with the ladies, because I don't think any of us that are intelligent would be like, oh, you're not able to have any opinion on anything just because we're different genders. That's not the problem. The problem is that he agitates and pokes at women. That's the problem, right? So because he said that, he was like, I'm gonna have an opinion, if I'm amongst the group. Like, he was given very much Peter from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Like, we've already went through this years ago with Peter Thomas, okay? We gonna tell you the same thing we told him. It's not about you being involved in a conversation that's for everyone. It's you being messy. That's what makes you a bitch, right? That's why we gave Peter a peach.
And so after that, Carl decides to ask Marsal, how do you feel about being called a bitch? And Marsal says, I really learned not to take offense to this because Stormy called me a bitch. That's because that's part of her culture. And he goes back to this culture word. And as we know, that's a dig, that's a shot, that's you being petty. So Stormy says she calls Marsal a bitch because a bitch is somebody with a lot of sass, pokes at people, stays in their business, and always has an attitude with everything. She said Men move with more integrity, and they don't poke at people for camera time. So at the end of the day, Marsau, you do those things, so you are a bitch. And you know, Marsau and the word integrity don't go together either.
Oh, no. I don't think any of the men that have been on this show since day one has much integrity.
So Carlos asked Letitia about how can she let another woman call her husband a bitch. So Letitia says Stormy is grown. She can't control her. But how do you feel comfortable as a woman calling a black man a bitch?
I'm very comfortable with it.
And Letitia goes on to say that she feels sorry for her household and tells Courtney to blink twice if he needs help.
She's so lame, bro. She's so lame. Then she says the whole like black men, they go through so much. I would never say that to no woman should ever say that to a black man because everybody's always against them. I said, girl, that being black ain't got nothing to do with shit in this moment. And that pissed me off. I hate when they do that. The whole like, oh, we're a black couple and how dare you as a woman just talk to another black man like that? Easy. When he acting like a bitch, I don't care what race, you acting like a bitch. Easy. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Y'all are not also the poster child for successful black unstoppable couples. Stop trying to play that game as well. Like girl, he's messy. Because you, as a black woman, why were you so hell-bent on belittling another black woman's pain when she was going through a divorce with her husband? As a black woman, why didn't you let her know what was up and what was going on? Because I am a firm believer that everybody knew that Martell was cheating on Mel. We've already established that. So, like, where were you with that? As a black man, you can't turn to no, it's not that no. Great try, wrong scenario. Great point, wrong scenario. Goodbye, girl. That's not what we're doing here.
So Carlos asked Marsau what has him and Stormy not really getting along, in which Marsau decides to go in pretty much saying that Stormy is attention seeking. She's insecure about the amount of attention she gets. And, I didn't know Marsau was a therapist. He wears many hats. Many hats.
He's not.
Many hats. And, Stormy wants to let it be known, honey, I was known before this damn show. I was on Forbes, everything. So, me being insecure, I was known. What attention do I need? I was already out here before this show.
Who do they think they are? It makes my stomach hurt. They think they are just, who do y'all think y'all are? And when Stormy pointed at them and was like, I'm getting real tired. Like, you two constantly make it a habit at downplaying my business accolades. Like, you constantly are doing that. Mm-hmm. And like you just said, like, I was successful in business and known before this show. We did not know Tisha and Marsau. That's a fact. I didn't know no damn Tisha and Marsau before. Like what? Like, please stop. Carlos then asked Tisha, how did she feel about Mel basically making this comment about Marsau not wanting Tisha to be successful, right? And Tisha's response was, well, like, that's not the case because, like, I'm on all of his businesses. Which, pause for a second, girl, you just said it. You're on all of your name is on all of his businesses. And we already know there's a rhyme and a reason for that. But I digress. Don't want to read you too much. And just the first part of this reunion. But they kind of go back and forth with that. And, Marsau gives he mansplains his reason as to why he feels like it's not that he doesn't want her to be successful, that they have a master plan or they had an agreement. And so basically, anytime that Tisha or anybody wants to veer off as my partner, you're veering off of our plan. If it's not that I just want you to be all about scope, but we already talked about what our goals are, what we're going to do as a unit, as a partnership. So the moment that you talk about you want to sell diaries or planners or whatever, that's when I'm going to have an issue because that's not a part of our plan. That would be all well and good if we did not feel like it's your plan that you have put onto Tisha and Tisha just got to follow, right? Like Tisha has been given direction and you have led her in every aspect of her life without what I feel like, my personal opinion, without really giving her the space or the room to really figure out what she wants to do, how she wants to show up in the world. Then Carlos asked the question or a follow-up question about basically, we saw you, Tisha, this season, having the desire to really be back to being a stay-at-home mom, which I'm like, in what world? That's not what's going on here. But all of this whole conversation, it all lends to us really having a hard conversation. I do agree that not everyone needs to be a boss, right? I don't believe that everybody is supposed to be an entrepreneur. I definitely think that we live in a society now where people are pressured to feel like they are supposed to be in that role, and that is not the case by no means. So if that is truly her desire to be back to being a stay-at-home mom, then whatever, girl, like, we'll take it. The problem is that you enter into this space of entrepreneurship and you want to be this boss bitch, and like that's just like what it is when you're not that person. I don't feel like you are. I think it is something that you want, but you haven't been given the space to explore and for you to come into your own. Right? She's copying and pasting from other people, no pun intended, because I ain't even talking about the website, but I'm talking about how other people show up in the world, how other people carry themselves, how other people, and when I say people, women, to break it down even more, Mel, the women that's on the stage with her, she is looking at how they move and how other people perceive them. And I do believe Tisha genuinely wants that. And I just think she goes about it the wrong way. I think when she started to go into her explanation of like how, she has her degrees and stuff, and she was getting a lot of the feedback and criticism from her family, a lot of the women in her family saying like, you don't depend on no man. Like you go out and you get your own. Marceau makes a comment to the side and he was like, yeah, a bunch of strong, single women, we call them the Rogers. Because he thought that was so funny. And Mel gave him the straight face, like, uncross your legs, Marceau. Sitting over there looking sassy. Your legs crossed, and mine wasn't even crossed. And I love that she said that, because it's moments like that. That's what we're talking about as far as being in women's business. That's what we're talking about. He then goes on to explain how, like, Tisha does want to be the stay-at-home mom. She don't want to be this big boss person that she's seeing online, but she's getting the pressure from other people. I think both can be true when it comes to Tisha. And he says, like, I don't want her, because I think of what Carlos asked him, what did he mean by the comment of him not wanting Tisha to be like Mel, right? Because Mel made the comment like, you just don't want her to be like me and leave your ass, right? Y'all remember that? Well, Marceau seems to feel like, yeah, I don't want her to be single and missing out on spending time with her kids and being the PTA mom, because that's truly what she wants to do. And he's also trying to throw digs towards Mel, trying to insinuate that Mel is losing time out with her kids, that she has prioritized business and money and being a boss over being a mother. And Mel got him together real quick, real fast, and was like, first of all, I can be out here traveling. I'm out here getting business contracts. I'm out here doing photo shoots. Whatever I need to do out in this world, I'm out here doing that, being a boss. At the same time, I'm there for my children. I've been to every PTA meeting. I've been to every school performance that they have had last school year. Like, I'm present. I'm making breakfast for them every morning, because we can do both. So you can stop playing in our face and trying to make it seem like you have to put women in a box, because that's what you and your brother do.
I do feel a lot of people get caught up in that word boss. Like, people look too much at titles. And people literally let these titles drive them to things that aren't real. Not everybody can be a chief. Some people got to be Indians as well.
And nothing's
And
wrong with that.
you know, it's just not meant for everybody. Not everybody has that
No.
capacity. Not everybody has that leadership. Not everybody has that ability.
Right.
And I do agree with Marsal because it just seems like it just seems like for Letitia, she wasn't satisfied until she was in some form of a boss position. And like I said, that goes back to I feel like her trying to chase Mel for whatever reason, trying to get validation from people.
I think that's what it is. It's the validation part, right? It's not that I want to do everything that Mel is doing because I actually want to put in that work. It's just that I want the praise for it. Here's why she doesn't take feedback well, because she wants the praise, but she doesn't want the constructive criticism. No. And that's the thing. That's why you cannot be an entrepreneur in this way and show up as a boss when you're not able to balance the two. So yeah, I actually take back what I said. I do agree. Tisha don't want that. She don't want that life.
She know about it.
But I do think that she does want more than just being a stay-at-home mom because of people's perception. She wants people to think that she is this boss.
Despite she can't live up to it. Okay, y'all. So for the final scene, Kiki gets introduced on stage, but we're not going to go into it because it was a to be continued, and we rather wait for that little segment to finish so we can start talk about it from start to finish. And so before we wrap it, as many of y'all know, surprising to some, not most, Martell broke the internet with his mugshot.
No bond.
I guess at this time, you really weren't worried about the kids. You were worried about Martell. So I don't know if y'all know. Yesterday, Martell was booked in Huntsville police department, whatever.
We can tell you ain't never been arrested.
For domestic violence, and I think it was 3rd degree.
It was. Let's be specific. Domestic violence communication, y'all. I'm not a lawyer, but that part was on the police report.
I thought it was domestic violence and 3rd degree communication something.
I thought
there were two different charges.
I think it's domestic violence communication. And then looking that up, that's of course doing like whether it's threatening or unwanted communication through email, text, or, whether it's verbal or whatever. Before I found out about the reason why he got arrested, I automatically thought it was his baby mama. We still, as of right now, tonight it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday evening, 5:00. We still don't know why he's been arrested. Now, by the time we end this recording and edit and probably put this up, we'll probably all have the answers. And we still don't know if he's still in jail.
No, he's out.
He's out. Okay. Well, I know originally there was no bond, so that meant he needed to go before a judge. So I'm assuming he did that all today. Yep. But we still don't know what or who called the cops on him. And I do know that there was already a warrant out for his arrest because that was a part of it as well.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I thought it was the baby mama. But once I saw the whole domestic violence communications thing, I instantly went to Mel. I mean, that's his MO. Like, that's his thing.
I didn't think Mel first.
Well, he's been out here, with the baby mama. They've been together, and they've been in these streets, child. So I don't think anybody really thought it was her once we saw the whole communications part. And the fact that she is like the captain of the Pick Me squad. So her calling the cops on Martell would be shocking to me.
It depends at the level how it got. Well, we don't know what happened, but I think it just depends on the level.
I don't know. You're right. I don't know. And Mel hasn't posted or said anything as of yet.
But I just knew it wasn't Mel because when it comes to Mel, I think he knows better because Mel's stature. I think he knows. And when I say stature, I mean, let's be real. Like, for him to show his ass, I feel he shows his ass differently with his child's mother and Mel. Like,
he threatened in revenge porn. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
but I'm just saying. I just didn't think it was male.
No, it's not because of her stature. Like what? He's been harassing her the whole time. He does not care. And it was interesting to see he got arrested yesterday, which was what, the 9th? So I saw on the report his birthday was also this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was their Founders Day. Aww.
On Founders Day.
Aww.
I hope, Martell, maybe he got drunk and had a little too much fun.
But it was days after because y'all's Founders Day was on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. You gonna call your frat?
I'll email him.
Okay, that's unfortunate that you can email him. Oh my God.
But y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed part 1 of the reunion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very funny.
It's weird behavior.
Y'all be sure to let us know how y'all feel. Let us know how y'all feel in the comments. Talk to each other in there. We will respond just like we did last week.
Yes.
We are going to watch it again this Saturday, just like I know you guys will. So, other than that, I want y'all to have a great weekend.
Yes. Bye.